Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hey, babes. What's up?
What's up? I'm so excited to talk about this because it's
Yeah.
just really fun.
It's fun? Oh, okay. I don't know if the word fun is what I would have used.
Oh, I'm
But
fun about it.
you're fun about it. Yeah, you're so fun about it, girl. We're talking about transcending fear.
Mhm.
Don't get scared. Transcend the fear
Yeah.
with us
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, we're going to transcend it. I think I'm excited because it
Okay.
feels really good to be able to share it.
Yes.
Because the past me would keep everything in and
Hmm.
overthink it and have anxiety. That's where anxiety comes from.
And you know what? It's funny because I feel like so many spiritual practices, there's this misconception that you can't talk about your fear.
Yeah.
You have to just be like, no, everything's fine. Think positive. Think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's that.
That's that.
But what happens to that fear? It doesn't just go away. You're pushing it down.
Yeah.
And that's never good.
No.
So...
So we will, okay, 3 tips would be A, write it down.
Okay.
Write your fears
We're
down.
diving right in. Get your pen and paper out right now.
Okay, well, all right, let's back up.
No.
Oh, we're not going to back up. So if you don't have someone that because we like to share our fears with each other, which works really well.
Yeah. What are we afraid of?
Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, I'm afraid of, I'm getting real honest and deep with the first one here.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of my beautiful vagina getting slaughtered.
Oh, God,
during-
that word. Oh.
I don't know. Somebody told me the other day that has had 3 kids that her vagina looked like hamburger meat after the last.
Oh, my God. Why would they tell you that?
So I just really am not looking forward to that. She said it healed, but it was.
And it looks pretty again.
She said it's all right. No, but okay, so that's a fear of mine. Another fear is I had so many and now they're all gone.
Well, I think a lot of them were about our bodies.
Yeah.
Right? Which I feel like is totally normal. But I'm also having fears around, not a ton, but little, it's starting to trickle in, these little fears about labor.
Yeah.
And, just everything going okay, everything going smoothly, being able to actually have a blissful labor, these things that you read about,
Yeah.
Things actually manifesting the way you want it to.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I've had a little tricklings of those coming in as well. I think it's perfect timing because we're almost in our 3rd trimester. So it's we're thinking about that more now, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about the birth. I know that I had last week some days where I started going into fear about, I watched the last episode of Girls. And she had a baby and she can't breast, the baby won't latch onto her nipple.
Oh.
And so then I should have just stopped watching the episode, but it was the last episode. I made it that far. Anyways, I was like, oh no, what if that happens to me? What if my baby doesn't want to breastfeed and I have to give it a bottle? And I went all into that whole fear.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much that can come up for pregnancy.
I want to talk. Okay.
Yeah, go.
I want to tell him one more thing.
Tell him.
We were looking up registry stuff the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And there was something called a snot sucker. Where you put it in your baby's nose and you suck their snot out, but apparently it doesn't go in your mouth. That, I can't even talk about it without.
It feels like it's a straw where you
Yeah. That gives me a fear.
I don't know why that part doesn't bother me.
Okay, but
I don't know.
So you need granny panties.
Okay, that part scared me.
I haven't thought about that. Let's get serious.
Well,
here.
let's not talk about it too much. I'm scared. Okay, but no, we can.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just I'm fearful of not being. To be honest, we could go on and on, but my biggest fear around all this is my fear of not being desirable sexually anymore from my partner or myself. And that scares me. So
yeah, because okay, let's practice if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's practice.
So what is like the root of that fear? Because what happens, and this is what you guys can do. You can like think about like, okay, what am I actually afraid of? And why? Like,
Why? What's
yeah, what happens if you're not desirable anymore?
Yeah, the root underneath all the story I could tell you is the fear of abandonment.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know,
You'll
him
get
like
left
cheating
or like,
or
yeah,
wanting a divorce.
right, right.
Because he
Yeah.
doesn't want any hamburger meat. Sorry, I had to. Yeah, fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
And also fear of abandoning myself. Because I know that, like, if I don't, I just have had, like, a past of seeing that if I don't love my body, I disown myself. And so I've done so much work to get to a place where that's a cycle that's transcended.
Yeah.
However, I'm scared to go like back there.
Right.
So it's really
yeah. It's almost like once you progress so much, even through that progression, like it almost creates this fear of reverting back to where you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's really powerful to also like be able to recognize and acknowledge that like healing happens in layers
and cycles.
Yeah. And like if that comes up, it's because there's something deeper to be healed. So even just in talking with you, like I'm discovering like, oh wow, there's more work for me to like glorious work for me to do around like loving my body.
Yeah.
In all ways and shapes and things that are gonna happen.
Yeah. So I'll share with you like my big fear, because that's part of it for me, but I wouldn't say it's like so, it's not the overwhelming fear. Not that this fear is overwhelming, but it can be at times. So it's the fear of, it's more of like a financial fear of like looking forward and being like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to work for a couple of months. And will I be able to make enough between now and when the baby comes to like take a proper maternity leave? And like, you know, it's like that kind of stuff where I start to get like all in my head, like, well, there's a bunch of stuff I'm going to have to pay for soon. You know, I found out that like my insurance isn't going to cover the midwife at all. So it's like all this stuff is coming up, and I can just say that like, oh yeah, it's money and it's stress around money, but really like what we're doing is, okay, but what's the deeper fear?
Right.
And the deeper fear is that I won't be safe and I won't be able to keep my baby safe and like support myself and support like my baby, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, once we kind of uncover that, then we know what we're working with, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, whether you're like pregnant or not, just allowing yourself to really be real about like, what am I afraid of? You know, what are the fears that are coming up in my life? Because we all know that, well, I don't know, maybe you guys know, we create our own reality.
Oh my gosh, if you don't know that, your mind just got blown up. Because it's so true. We create our own reality. We forget that all the time, but it's so true.
And our beliefs are what's shaping that.
Yep.
So these fears are part of our limiting beliefs and this like old system that we're breaking out of in this spiritual journey.
Yeah.
So if we don't allow ourselves to recognize them and call them out, we're not able to process them and move through them. They just keep weighing us down, whether that's, you know, consciously or unconsciously. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And once you have like the root cause, you can be empowered about what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
It gives you like a really powerful place to stand versus like, okay, I'm scared that this is going to happen to my body and that I have to wear granny panties and like pads, blah, 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 like staying up there versus like, okay, I have this fear that's coming up. That's a different mask on, but it's fear of abandonment. So how can I relate to like, it gives you such a, like a platform of empowerment to like stand in and work on that one root than like all the other.
The static. It's static. Yeah. And remembering that voice ultimately, that voice of fear, it's not something to get angry at or push down or, you know, try to even like fix. It's a part of you that's looking out for your best interest. You know, I mean, like with you, if there's a part of you that fears being abandoned, and thinks that like if these things happen you'll be abandoned, then it's going to send you all of these kinds of messages saying like warning, 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 you know? And
Yeah.
ultimately it's just looking out for your best
Yeah.
interest. But this is a wounded part of us
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, is kind of stuck in that fear realm rather than like the higher self or the empowered part of us that knows the truth, that knows that we create our reality,
Yeah.
that knows what our potential is.
Yeah. I'm really happy we're talking about this, and you kind of touched on it earlier, but I want to just reiterate that I think it's so prevalent in the spiritual and woo-woo community and yoga community that you're happy all the time. You want to be like high vibe all the time. You got
Yeah.
positive vibes only, you know, like,
Good
and it's
vibes
honestly
only.
just not like that. Like we all
No.
have our darkness. It's so powerful to be able to look at the darkness and heal that, like you're talking about, like the wounded part of yourself,
Yeah.
you know, because honestly, if you're always like playing that card of like, I'm a yogi, I'm high vibe, I'm woo woo as fuck or whatever, it's bullshit. And you're not looking at
Yeah.
like, you're not looking at everything. So
Right.
it's
And that's
really,
not the full spectrum of being a human.
right.
Yeah.
And people think, I know I used to think like, you know, I only wanted to feel the high vibes, and anytime any like low vibrational stuff, I still call it that. It's like I still have
Yeah.
that like depression, anxiety, sadness. I would want to run away from those feelings so badly versus like look at them, because there was fear around like the
Yeah.
emotion, being like in tune with my emotions and what that would
Yeah.
bring up. So just know that like by looking at it this way, it's so empowering, and you will elevate yourself so much more than if you, like you said, keep pushing it down and have this mentality of like, no, I'm a yogi, I'm positive, like I'm not going to feel my fear, I'm not going to feel my worry, you know, and
Right.
push it down, push it down. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think in that it's like it's another way for us to prepare for labor and motherhood,
Yeah.
because there's going to be fear, there's going to
Yeah.
be pain, there's going to be discomfort. And if we're just running away from it all the time, we're not fully empowered,
Right.
right? Like the full empowerment comes with us being able to look at it in the face
Mm-hmm.
and say like, I see you and I'm still going to move forward and I'm still going to, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Or like with pain or discomfort, like I feel you, but you're not going to stop me,
Yeah.
you know? And so again, like these are all just practices for like life and like the different things that unfold in our lives.
Right. Yeah, and it's like a journey and a progression. So, like you were just saying, when you notice something's coming up, like, okay, this fear's here. I'm not going to attach to this fear,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm going to attach to love, or I'm going to attach
Yeah.
to, and in the moment, like if it's feeling really heavy for you, you can do that. And then also, like, we would invite you to look at the deeper root of what that fear is. So it's
Yeah.
like a journey and a combination, that's not a word, but I just made it one, of of like the progression of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I noticed that I do that. You can easily get hooked into like the fear, or you can easily see, oh, I'm acknowledging the fear, right? And I'm choosing love, which we were talking about earlier. We freaking love Gabriella Bernstein like so much. So amazing. She like totally shifted my life. She's the first like spiritual teacher I came across. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Was she
was definitely in the beginning for me. Yeah. Yeah.
in the beginning? And she talks a lot about that, the mantra that you can use when you're stuck in fear.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I've really realized with it is that, you know, like you were saying, healing happens in like layers and cycles. And so I would say like one of the first things to do is, you know, look at the deeper reason, ask like, where did this fear come from? What is this voice that is speaking these fears to me? How can I like nurture that voice and see it as like almost like a child who had a nightmare or something, right? And be able to say like, oh, I'm sorry you're scared, but like, you know, I'm the adult, I'm the queen, I'm the empowered one, and I can hold space for you to express your fear, not shut you down, but you also don't have to attach to it.
Right.
Right. So actually, I love that. Like thinking of it as like a little kid being like, I had a nightmare, especially because like
Yeah.
thinking like if our babies have nightmares one day and they're like, oh my God, there was a scary monster, da 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 da. You're not going to be like, where? Fuck, where's the monster? You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
run, hide, you know?
Let's get out of here. Yeah.
But that's what we do.
Right.
You know, we let those little voices that tell us all of these like crazy scenarios and spin us into fear, we attach to them rather than just seeing it as a story, you know, as a scary dream that we don't have to attach to and even allow to be real.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Should we do the pixie dust?
Yes. Oh my God. I'm excited for today's pixie dust. You tell him. You tell him.
Okay, so actually, I think it was just last week. I noticed this a lot, that I was being really serious, and I needed something. I needed a shift, and like my mind just came up with Hakuna Matata, and I was like, yeah, Hakuna Matata. It means no worries.
Hakuna Matata.
And then I told you.
Yeah.
And that's like our thing now. Because
Yeah.
it means no worries. And it makes it
for the
fun.
rest of your days.
For the rest of your days.
It's our problem-free philosophy.
Hakuna Matata. But
yeah, because it helps, like, especially when, because look, like, it's all about polarities. Like, it's all about balance. And especially, like, when we're in this, like, deep spiritual work, sometimes we need to bring ourselves out for a second and, like, get perspective.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like it's the perfect thing to help you to kind of, like, zoom out and just, like, see the bigger picture, like, we're good. No worries. Hakuna Matata.
And it's fun. And you like laugh for a second.
Yeah.
And you can even, I put the song on YouTube and danced around the house because I needed to raise my vibration in the moment because things were really feeling heavy for me. And like you just said, that's fine if you want to ask the universe, like, okay, I get it. We're transcending, but like hold the phone. Okay. I need a moment.
Yeah, I need to breathe.
I need to breather. To breathe.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't know why I'm like pretending as if this is something I do, but you know those people that like oh my God, what is it called? They dive in the ocean without air.
Free dive.
Yeah. So like it's like being able to free dive and like get like deep into the depths of our soul, but also know that like we have to come up for air sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's what we're doing as we're like doing this healing and this like ascending and transcending and expansion. It's like we're diving in, but you need to know when, you know, like it's okay to take a breath of air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually
okay
like nurturing to yourself to give yourself a break and know like, okay, the last few days have been really heavy. I've been going really deep. Like I'm calling for something fun and then Hakuna Matata it up.
Hakuna Matata it up and move your body.
Yeah.
Right?
Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. It means no worry. Okay, I won't sing for you guys.
Okay, take it over, girl. You got the mic.
But yeah, so that's a fun pixie dust. But I'm telling you, it's a good mantra.
Yeah.
We've been using it.
Yeah, I love it. And just to piggyback on that, I think that something that's really helped me, because what I realize is fear, not always, but a lot of times it's in my head, not my body, right? So that means if I'm really connecting to fear a lot, I'm in my head a lot, not in my body. So working with a mantra like that is great. Working with a mantra and moving your body, like you said, like dancing, that's like, dun, 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 you know, it's like the next level of like getting out of your head and into your body and just feeling like, oh no, I'm good. I feel good. You know, I swear it. Next time you're scared, next time you're worrying about stuff, stressed about stuff, dance, do a little yoga, like shake your hips, like just get into your body. And see what happens. And Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata, beautiful folks.
We'll
see you next time.
See you soon.
Woo, woo.